Okay, I'm gonna try to, I think I got a good angle here. Now, he hasn't been out yet, so I'm trying to recreate him possibly fighting with me. So what happens a lot of time, these dogs, they're in playgroup, they're having a good old time, and they're still in that drive, so when you go try to settle them down, it's hard. So ideally, what you could do, this is ideal, you know, you probably don't have time, all that kind of stuff. So, come on, big guy. Then he goes running, right? So ideally, you could come in and you walk down that big hallway, right? And then you come and get him settled down and walking with you. This is ideal, you know. I know we have time restraints, right? So then, now here's where you're having problems, is going in the door. So pretend this is the door. So this is what I'm seeing is, you're opening the door and you're in the way, right? Some dogs, they don't care, they're gonna go in it, right? So open the door, scoot back, and boom, right? See if he goes in with more space. Then if not, you open the door and walk in with him, boom, and you turn around, and then now he's there. You take the leash off and close the door, right? And then the other way is, if you have cookies, you walk in, you open the door, you serve the cookies, make sure he sees, right? So if you have cookies, you go right in his nose and throw it in and see if he'll go in after it, right? And then if that doesn't work, now you have leash pressure, right? So this is what's happening. He's going for the leash, and then you pick your hands up, and what ends up happening is the hands become a toy. So he wants to jump up and get your hands. So you want to keep your hands kind of low. I know he's a bigger guy. And then, let's see, the one lady I saw, he was kind of jumping and she started to do that. That's a good one. You're just creating a space. You don't have to kick at him. You just put your knee, so if he jumps into it, that creates the little bubble and he's going to stop doing it. The other way to do that is you step into it. He's jumping, right? So then here's the other one. If they got the leash, right, you don't want to pull, right? If the leash is in his mouth right here and you're pulling right here, now you're tugging and having a game, right? Now what you can do is, he has the leash here, you can come right here and you take the leash on his collar. He's got the leash here, don't do this part, you do this part. See, he's mouthy, nope. And you just go like that, straight up. Once you hit pressure, you just stop there. And then he settles down, the pressure comes off. It's negative reinforcement. You're applying pressure, then he settles down, you release the pressure. It feels good when the pressure is released, so he remembers that, and he's like, oh, when I settle down and keep my feet down here, then that's cool. But the key there is, you're not using this part of it, you're using this part. So when he's busy with this, you take your other hand and you get it right here, right in the back of his head, and you just pick it up. Don't pick him up, you put the pressure until you just feel it. And then you hold it, and it's patience and wait. Then when he settles down, the pressure comes out, and then now you have your leash pressure to get in, right? So you grab the leash at shoulder length, right? So if you're going like this, he's gonna be able to jump and get at your hand, right? So you take, and you come down here, boom, right? And the leash pressure makes him go in. Now, if you put too much pressure, he might fight backwards, right? And then you might have to use your body. Movement is motivation, motion is motivation, and also it's communication, right? So say he stopped right here, you can go, right? You want to be a big fluid. So he sees the movement, right? Ready? And then he's in there, right? So ideally, hey, settle down. You settle down too. So that's the biggest one I saw, is like you're opening the door, right? And kind of the space is too small. So say that's the door, right? You go right here, leash pressure, and he's in. Nope. Right there, he fought it a little bit. Okay. All right. And you can put a word on it if you want. You can say, you can go crate and leash pressure till he's in. Nope. It's okay. You might get something like this, right? So here you have the same thing. You see, at his shoulder, he can't do nothing. If I was up here, he'd be jumping crazy. If you're at the shoulder, you bring him around. And see, I'm doing it in a pinch point. That's not ideal. Ideal would be if I was over here and I could bring him in this way. If the door, whichever way the door is. You guys have that big wide spot, right? So you have the door. You would be by the door and you would just take him and go. All right. Good job, buddy. You good boy. Is that everything? I should have made a little list. I think that's everything, right? He's jumping, so don't put your hands up. The other thing, I don't know if you guys are allowed to do this there. The other thing is if he's jumping and mouthy at you, it's the same thing. If he's got the leash and you want to be corrective, you got to come right here and you want to go shoulder length. He's got this, you want to go boop, sideways into this thing, right? So he's kind of jumping it, trying to do this. You use your other hand down here, boop, correction, right? That way he can't jump because he wants to jump. You're trying to break his momentum, right? By going this way, right? Shoulder level to the side. Actually, you want to be at an angle, but that's kind of hard to get, right? So ideally, it's coming at an angle this way, right? But sideways is okay. You just kind of don't want to go this way because it's straight on the neck. You want to try to go into the muscle. The strongest part of the body is right there. I heard somebody say, I don't know how true that is. Right, so not up here. Get in between where he's got the mouth on the leash and the collar. You don't want to be on the outside of the mouth. You want to be here, not here, here. And yeah, use your knee to create the bubble. Then, so what happens is you use your knee to create the bubble. If he's trying to jump into you, what he starts doing is he'll only jump here, right? If he can jump into you, he's going to jump into you. If you block him a few times, then he starts jumping out here. Generally speaking, that's what happens. Get off. Rude boy. I think that's everything. Give him more space. Use the leash pressure. Leash pressure, you're trying to go. Everything you're doing with the dog is kind of shoulder height, right? So anytime you're doing leash pressure, you're trying to go shoulder height. If you're coming from up here, that's going to make him want to jump into it, right? So if you're going shoulder height, he's going to want to go with it. If you're coming from up here, he's going to want to jump into it. And that's kind of what I think is going on. He's seeing your hands up here, so he wants to jump up and get them. And then the other part important is if you're tugging from outside of his mouth to get it out of his mouth, now it's a tug toy and it's fun. So you're actually reinforcing him holding on to it. Whereas if you grab in between where he's got it and his collar, you can correct or just come straight up with a little bit of pressure until he drops. When he drops the leash out of his mouth, then the pressure comes off. I think that's everything. I know, buddy, you gotta go, right? Oh, that was 5 minutes longer than I wanted to be.